And yeah, so starting with the first news is regarding the stress test that happened on the Starknet Gorley testnets, and it took place during Tuesday, and it was a test around the Starknet token. And there was also the first transaction, the first Starknet transaction that was paid using the Starknet token as the fee token instead of Ethereum. And yeah, from the sources that I have, the stress test went pretty smoothly. During the test, nothing broke, so that's very, very positive. And most of the stress test was about the Starknet token, even though it wasn't specified in the announcement here. But it was definitely about the Starknet token that, as you know, it is around the corner, right? It is. There's no need for further speculation. And so also some screenshots circulated about all the transactions that happened during this week in the testnets regarding Starknet. There were some kind of claiming tests, maybe for the airdrop, even though the numbers shown there were just basically only, just for test purposes. There were already some pages manipulating the old information, saying that those were the airdrops figures, but it's not the case, guys. They were just testing numbers, so don't believe anybody who tells you something else or the opposite. So, but anyway, definitely there were a lot of stress testing actions around the token, so it is coming. And yeah, today let's also make some exception, because we don't usually cover this kind of stuff. We focus on the fundamentals and on the news, but I know that my community wants some more token farming content, so we'll give it to it while maintaining as much integrity as possible and without losing the quality of the content, which is a top priority for me. And but yeah, actually, last week I ran into this page, which is called the Chain Brokers. There are many similar pages. They are basically analytics pages where they show all the different tokens and crypto projects, and they break down the tokenomics, the VCs exposures. So how much did the VC hold? And there are some news around the seed rounds, the round C, round A, round B, round all this kind of stuff, round A, B, C, D, whatever. And I ran into this page, but I have to make a disclaimer. Some, if not a good part of the information that you will find in these analytics is not very reliable, because not only about Starknet, but over generally speaking, they mix a lot. Also the seed rounds and holder rounds, the investment rounds, they're well made for the software company that is behind the scanning solution. But that doesn't mean that all the exposure that VCs has is in tokens. Okay, it could have also company shares, which is something different. Obviously, if you have company shares of, for example, of Starkware, you would have exposure to the Starknet token, of course, and maybe you would get also some tokens. But it doesn't mean that you will get tokens only compared to the money that VC invested. So, for example, here, well, we notice here that the private average price, which is quite wrong, so don't rely on this. It says 80 cents, which is definitely lower. And we are gonna break down these details here. For example, here is the tokenomics, and actually I would have preferred that they would have wrote even here in the legends of the charts, what this percentage refer to. And yeah, they refer to these colors, but you have to match the color from here to here, and it is not very comfortable. However, here, for example, for the Starknet scaling solution and token, we see this kind of vesting description where there are, all the seed rounds and the series rounds gathered here. And as I said, most of it, if not like half of it at least, is mixing Starkware companies' raises with Starknet token private sales, and therefore you can rely on this stuff, but we can have an idea. For example, the seed round refers to 2018, refers to the seed round of Starkware, where there was also Vitalik involved, right? So yeah, maybe those people would also get some Starknet token, right? But they're raised in 2018, so they're like they hold the shares of the company, and so it doesn't mean that all this money raised would be paid in Starknet tokens at this valuation. I don't know how this this website figured this amount, so 0.025, and yeah, so don't rely on this, but yeah, it gives an idea that this obviously these kind of people who invest in the seed round could have some exposure there. Then we see all the other rounds, and for a total of like 260 million rounds were invested in Starkware, and then obviously some in token sales, and yeah, we need to be careful, especially about this series here, and which is the Series D, which puts like the valuation at the moment of the raise at 8 billions, and we're talking about 100% about Starkware. This announcement happened in mid like March or February 2022. And I remember it very well because I was starting, with my content journey on Starknet. And yeah, this was just, about the raise for Starkware. Obviously, we don't know all the details of the raise, how much it's gonna take, is gonna be paid in Starknet tokens, and how much is gonna be paid in companies' shares, which is something different, right? Because if you own shares, you would have in this case exposure to the tokens, but you also have exposure to the company, to the investments of the company, to the other products that the company creates. For example, in regarding Starkware, they don't do they before long time before Starknet, their first product was StarkX and scalability engine, and especially designed for enterprises. And obviously, if you have shares on Starkware, you have exposure to that as well. And then, so as I said, we need to be careful about these details. And yeah, we can see that there was 1 year cliff that obviously it varies from rounds to rounds, I suppose. And so, and obviously it would begin either from the moment of the deal was struck, or by the moment that the Starknet token was generated, which was actually generated last year, November 2022. So in both cases, we can say that the cliff, in most cases, it is over. So it is very likely that the vesting phase has begun. So if these these entities, these VCs have tokens, their vesting has just begun. And this will last for around 36 months, so at least for another 1.5, 2 years, and yeah, so they would receive their tokens gradually, and yeah, this is positive because this means they won't unload them all once like in one time. And yeah, that will translate into less selling pressures. Obviously, we don't know about the strategy of these VCs, what's their plan around the Starknet token, and yeah, we have seen also with Pantera Capital, if I remember well, which is one of the investors of Starknet. We'll have a look at the VCs later on, and they're also this kind of VCs are starting to play also the kind of they move a lot of money in liquidity to farm tokens, to farm airdrops. So it is quite likely that many of these VCs will use their own liquidity in Starknet tokens to farm like airdrops or to farm liquidity incentives, and they would spread, the liquidity in different dexes and lending protocols and so on. And yeah, that would result also in less selling pressure, especially during the first year. And yeah, we can have a look at at the bakers at some of the VCs. I don't know if they are all listed here. As I said, you can rely 100% on this kind of websites. They just want to, they gather all the details they have, and they manage them according to their own needs, and therefore they're not reliable at all. But we can see, we have big names such as Paradigm, Sequoia Capital, Multicoin Capital, and then we also have, Coinbase Ventures, Pantera Capital, and these are quite renowned ventures. Personally speaking, I really like, the work of Coinbase Ventures, Pantera Capital. They've been helping the space a lot, as Paradigm as well. And yeah, then there are others that I don't like that much, but I don't mention them. But I would mention, obviously, two VCs that went bankrupt. So we can have also a discussion on this, in the fact that obviously, as I said, we don't know how much they would receive. And we're talking about Alameda Research, FTX Ventures Funds, and 3 Arrows Capitals. And both of these funds, they're bankrupt, so maybe they're into the hands of debt liquidators, as I call them. And yeah, this means that these legal entities would probably have to sell, legally speaking, would have to sell their tokens as much as they as soon as they get it. Obviously, they would also get them in investing phases. They're not an exception, so they will also receive the tokens gradually. But in the case of the legal entities managing the funds and the liabilities of Alameda Research and 3 Arrows Capital, they will have to sell it, right? But I don't think we're talking about a lot of tokens, also because I think both of them invested in the latest, in the last rounds. So they have, I think they would have like a valuation around 15-20 cents, like Series B round, and maybe Series D. Yeah, let's see. No, I don't think we can see that. Anyway, yeah. So as I was saying, these the legal entities that are managing these their liabilities will have to sell it, but we're not talking about many tokens, in my own opinion, and also they won't be able to sell them at one time, all at once. So it is not bad, and yeah. So this was a kind of a breaking down of the stats. As I said, like private price is not definitely 80 cents. We're talking about something that could resemble Arbitrum. Here you can see like they have a private price of 12 cents. And then we also have like Optimism private price of 38. And I think that the average VC's price, entry VC price, would be around these numbers, right? Which isn't that bad, actually, even though, let's say, I think it would be more like Arbitrum, right? Like 12, 15, 20 cents. And it is not bad. It is not bad in the sense that, there shouldn't be a lot of selling pressures, considering these entry prices and considering the vesting. So this makes me very bullish about the Starknet token. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I'm very biased because I cover only the Starknet ecosystem, and yeah, you should be taking that into account for sure. But yeah, let me know what you think about these details. Where you are aware of it, let me know, and then we'll be speaking about some speculation around the token. When will it come? How will it come? How much do you think the airdrop will be worth, more or less? and so on. I'll just give you some time to write if you want to write something. And in the meanwhile, I will be taking a short drinking break, and I'll be right back. So guys, let's speculate a bit about the Starknet token, the Starknet drop, and if we consider, let's start with the valuation. Like I think that after the airdrop and the provisions, as they are being called by the Starknet Foundation and by Starkware, like I think that the moment of the of the launch, the valuation in terms of fully diluted value market cap, fully diluted valuation would be around 4 and 6 billions. That would put the price around at 40 and 60 cents of a dollar, which means that's also taking into account that obviously the maximum supply is 10 billions, and in order to get the fully diluted market cap, you have to multiply the value of the token per the maximum supply. And if we have like around 5 billions, right? 5 billions total value, fully diluted market cap at the beginning, like at the launch of the Starknet token, that sets the price of Stark at around 50 cents, so 0.50. And then if we have a look, for example, at some other players in the space, in the scaling space, and like we're talking about Arbitrum and Optimism, if we have a look at them, they now have, for example, in Arbitrum, they have a fully diluted valuation, so 70 billions, and they also have the same maximum supply of Starknet, so we can compare the Starknet token to the Arbitrum one for the reason as well, and we can have an idea of how much the Starknet token could be valued at, and yeah. So, for example, if we have a look at when the Arbitrum token was released in March 2023, it was around 1.35, 1.22. Okay, and which was a lot actually, in my own opinion, at the launch, and yeah. So if something like that would also happen for Starknet, I think that would be very, very, very good. And obviously, because we are talking about a different phase of the market, we are now in a bull market, so it will also depend on the overall market sentiment. But I think I'm confident that at least the Starknet token would start in their first weeks of activity, trading, and so on, with like a fully diluted valuation of 5 billions. I want to keep myself conservative, also because we need to be honest, like Arbitrum and Optimism as scaling solutions, they are a bit, in terms of developments, they started earlier, they're a bit ahead. So I wouldn't say that once the Starknet token is out, it would be worth like a fully diluted valuation of 70 billions, like Arbitrum right now. I don't think it's the case, but I think we could reach these valuations, these numbers, and as the market continues, and I think that those numbers could be very good targets in the medium terms. So yeah, let's see how it goes, but we need to focus especially on developments. We should also not get distracted by token talks too much, and continuing on what we are doing, so building and creating contents about Starknet, attracting new users into Starknet in a sustainable way, and let them understand the fully potential of this scaling solution, and then the results will also be translated into the value of the token 100%. So yeah, we can also give some speculation about the airdrop. When will it come? I think it will come around. I would be surprised. I don't know, honestly, when it will come exactly, but I would be surprised, if the Starknet launch, the Starknet token launch, won't happen before the beginning of March. So I think it's imminent, and yeah, really looking forward to it. And I'm very curious to know, the airdrop amount, and also, the ECMP will be released together with the airdrop, as I heard, and I mean that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, so hopefully everything will go smoothly, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think it is around the corner. Let's see. And what else? I think I've spoken about everything related to the Starknet token. Yeah, maybe, airdrop amounts. First of all, I need to say that I think, as most of the tokens right now, especially the ones related to fundamentals-driven projects such as Starknet, I think that the airdrops will be scattered around different phases, like it happened with Optimism, and something similar with Arbitrum as well. So it will also, other phases will be happening also in terms of contribution rewards programs, this kind of stuff. So if you don't manage to get something with this airdrop, don't lose your hope, and continue to be active, in the ecosystem, because it is quite likely that you could get, the other phases, and yeah. This is also for the people worrying whether the snapshot has been taken already or not. I think it's pretty clear that if there's like a airdrop in different phases, the first phase, the snapshot for the first phase has probably been taken. But if you weren't active then, I mean, don't lose your hope, don't lose your enthusiasm. Just keep on focusing on on Starknet, practicing stuff on Starknet, because also, we need to remember that now, all the projects building on Starknet, once the Starknet token is live, they will also be more active, and they will also have more funds to fund their development, and they will also many of them will also issue their tokens. So it is definitely worth considering being active in the ecosystem and kind of farming these possibilities, these tokens, especially of projects that you like. And yeah, so obviously do that with the most sustainable mindset, and be careful. There will be a lot of scams, I'm sure, like taking advantage of the Starknet token launch. So you need to be very, very careful where you put your money in, and always Dior, never trust anybody, not even myself. So always take everything with a grain of salt, and yeah, navigate as safe as possible the old space, not only about Starknet, but this is valid for the other crypto space. But yeah, and as I said, I don't think it will be only once phase airdrop, like the first generation airdrop, and therefore yeah, I don't know about the amounts. Obviously, the airdrop amounts will be, I guess, will be different also from the CMP amounts, or maybe they will be all together. I don't know, but yeah, I think they will be quite similar to to the airdrops that we saw with Optimism, with Arbitrum, which isn't bad, because I think that the average holder of the token, right now, would be sitting at 10, 15K, something like that, which is quite good for an airdrop. And yeah, but obviously, as I said, nothing I said up to here, and during the whole video is financial advice. And yeah, be careful. And if you want to maximize your possibilities and your chances of farming tokens in the Starknet ecosystem, I suggest you to read this great article from my friend Starknet Digger. And yeah, he put out this article where he says his views on the tokens that on the projects that could release tokens in the near future, and on the projects that is worth farming on according to his own views. And yeah, so obviously, like all the links that will be all the resources that will be shown during this StarkStream, you can find these links and all the others in the YouTube descriptions box. And if you're watching this show on Twitter, just make sure to go to the next tweet below the broadcasting, and you'll find the link to the YouTube stream, and there you'll find all these links, right? Cool.